Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. We haven't done a what happened to the drivers of some random motor racing series you may or may not have heard of before, so let's take a look at all the champions of the Formula Renault UK series and see what happened to them. We are going through all the champions from the series inception in 1989 to its death in 2011, so plenty of years to cover and looking at all kinds of champions. So remember to subscribe, nearly at 500 now. Getting so close. And let's begin.
Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
1989, Neil Ridderford. The very first champion in this category, a category that saw future F1 drivers and even champions, and it all started with Neil Ridderford, who continued to race in this series for a few more years and seemingly did little else. Now works for iZone Driver Performance, but this was not the start of a successful racing career. 1990, Thomas Erdos. Beat future British touring car drivers in Chris Goodwin, Jason Plato and Tim Sugden, Tommy Erdos's single-seaters career never panned out, only reaching as high as the secondary class in British F3 in 1994. That same year he returned to the British Renault Championship, not winning it. And since then he has raced in pretty much everything, winning his class at Le Mans twice with the MG Lola team, racing in the British touring cars with Lexus in 2001, winning the British GT Championship in 2002 in a Celine. He's had his successes here and there, but never made the big time. 1991, Bobby Verdon-Roe. Despite sounding like a bully from a 1980s comedy, Bobby Verdon-Roe is probably most famous for his run in the British touring cars with Ecurie Cos Vauxhall and Park Lane Toyota. He won the Formula Renault Championship in 1991 and never raced in single-seaters again, turning to touring cars and GT racing. He ended his career racing various historics, including old Formula 1 cars. 1992, Pedro de la Rosa. I have spoken about Spaniard de la Rosa surprisingly often on this channel, but here we go again. Won the Formula 1 Renault UK Championship in 1992. He would have a successful career in Japan, before moving into Formula 1, racing for Arrows and Jaguar, before taking on testing roles with McLaren and BMW Sauber that led to sporadic drives, before finishing his career with Sauber and HRT. Hasn't raced since his 2012 season with the HRT team, but has managed to have an impressive career. 1993, Yvonne Arias. Another Spaniard, but one whose career never matched up to compatriot de la Rosa. After winning this championship in 1993, he moved to British Formula 3 and failed to make a mark. Before a final season in French Formula 3 was equally disappointing, he seemingly gave up on motorsport. 1994, James Matthews. Now this guy is freaking royalty. He is the future Laird of Glen Affric and is married to Pippa Middleton, sister of the Duchess of Cambridge. James Matthews' kids are 3rd, 4th and 5th in line for the throne. He was also a race driver. He won this and the Formula Renault Euro Cup Championship in 1994 before moving to British Formula 3 in 1995 and 1996 with a best 9th overall in the championship with Promatechme. He left motorsport to do things with hedge funds, hunt deer on his massive estate and bag a royal. 1995, Guy Smith. Beat some good drivers in this field. Darren Turner and Australian Russell Ingall were in this championship. Guy Smith took a win in British Formula 3 in 1996 before moving to GT racing, winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans with Bentley in 2003 and the American Le Mans Series with Dyson Racing Team in a Lola Mazda in 2011. He is still going in various series, most notably the WeatherTech Series LMP2 class with United Autosport. 1996, David Cook. Won the championship with his own family-run team. David Cook at least got on the ladder of Formula 1. He took the DC Cook Motorsport team into British Formula 3 with little success, as well as the International F3000 Championship in 1997, scoring no points. He made little headway in British F3 in 1998, nor his one race in International F3000 that year with Redman and Bright, and so after 1998 his goose was cooked and he retired. 1997, Mark Hines. I'm surprised Mark Hines didn't make it into Formula 1, or at least get more of a chance in International F3000. After winning the Formula Renault UK Championship, Mark Hines moved to the British Formula 3 in 1998, and he won that in 1999, beating Luciano Berti and Jenson Button. Mark Hines also won the Masters of F3 race in 1999, but his career seemed to stall at this point. He had a few races in International F3000 and tested for the BAR F1 team before moving to endurance racing. His final year in motorsport was spent with a lacklustre run in the BTCC in an MG and managing Lewis Hamilton's business concerns, which he did until earlier this year. 1998, Alessio Coelho. The second Brazilian to win this championship, Alessio Coelho moved up to British F3 with Promotecmi for 1999 and was crushed, especially by teammate Jenson Button. After that, he scurried off back to Brazil, racing in the Sudamericana F3 series, as well as many other national racing series, before hanging up his helmet in 2012. 1999, Antonio Pizzonia. And now the third Brazilian. Antonio Pizzonia was a successful junior Formula driver, winning this championship ahead of future BTCC tank driver Rob Austin. Pizzonia would also win the 2000 British F3 Championship, take a win in the International F3000 series, before getting an F1 drive with Jaguar. It wasn't a great season and he would move on to a part-time drive with Williams for 2004 and 2005. He'd appear in various series over the years, such as GP2 and Champ Car, but spent most of the back end of his career racing in the Brazilian Stock Car Championship, as well as winning the AutoGP Championship in 2015. 2000, Kimi Raikkonen. Finally, we get into the big names. Kimi Raikkonen won this championship ahead of such heavyweights as John and Ryan Dalziel and Tom Sisley. He has only ever won one other championship, but it is the Formula 1 Championship with Ferrari in 2007. Kimi jumped straight into a Formula 1 driver's Sauber after this, and 20 years later is still there with Alfa Romeo. 2001, Carl Breeze. This is a weird championship. How do you go from a Formula 1 champion to a BTCC backmarker? Well, that's what we got with Carl Breeze. He never rose above British Motorsport. He spent a few years racing for Team Halford's Peugeot and GA Motorsport in the British touring cars, but never really got results to shout home about. He found success in the Ginetta Support Series, taking 44 wins over 7 seasons and winning it outright in 2012. He stopped racing in 2015. 2002, Danny Watts. Beat Jamie Green and some unknown rookie by the name of Lewis Hamilton to win this championship. He'd raced in various series before finding his groove in endurance racing, winning his class at Le Mans in 2010 with Stracker Racing. He'd spend the next 6 years mostly with Stracker before retiring in 2016. 2003, Lewis Hamilton. Do you see what I mean? Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Raikkonen, Carl Breeze. There's not a lot to say about Hamilton. He's won 7 Formula 1 championships and 100 Grand Prix. That's what he's up to. 2004, Mike Conway. Conway beat Wesley Barber and Paul di Resta to win the 2004 championship. He has had a fantastic career in the years since. He would win the British F3 series in 2006, take part in GP2 winning a race with Trident, win 4 IndyCar races between 2009 and 2014. He's raced in V8 Supercars, Formula E, European Le Mans, WeatherTech, tested in Formula 1 for Honda, and most recently has been killing it in the World Endurance Championship with Toyota, winning the WEC in 2020 and finally winning Le Mans in 2021 alongside Kamui Kobayashi and Jose Maria Lopez. 2005, Oliver Jarvis. Another man who has done a lot of racing since winning this series, and most of it is endurance based. After winning Formula Renault UK, he moved up to British F3, finishing second, losing out to Mike Conway, but Jarvis would win the Macau Grand Prix in 2007. Since then, Jarvis's career has taken him to many places, finishing second at Le Mans in a LMP2 car, winning in Super GT, podiums in DTM, and in 2021 he is currently third in the WeatherTech series racing for Mazda. 2006, Sebastian Hohenthal. The Swede had a disappointing career. After winning this series, Hohenthal moved to British Formula 3 for a couple of years with Fortec Motorsport, but after only one win and a best 7th overall, he had one final go at the Formula 2 Championship in 2009. He'd only finished 16th overall and retired from motorsport. He set up his own racing academy, which I hope is more successful than his career. 2007, Duncan Tappy. Another who fell into the realms of endurance racing, Duncan Tappy's career went all over the place. He raced in Super League, Indy Lights, International Formula Masters, Porsche Super Cup, but had little success anywhere. In 2021, he finished second overall in the Asian Le Mans LMP3 series with United Autosport, as well as racing in the European Le Mans Series. 2008, Adam Christodoulou beat Alexander Sims in the championship before winning the Star Mazda Championship in 2009. Since then, he has raced in pretty much every GT series out there and is still going mostly at the Nürburgring. 2009, Dean Smith. Actually, Dean Smith beat some good drivers to win the 2009 Renault UK Series. James Collado, Oliver Rebb, Dean Stoneman and Harry Ticknell. They are at least recognisable names. Dean would get a couple of years in GP3, first with Carlin and then Alex Campos. He'd take a few podiums but would retire after not finding a drive after 2011. 2010, Tom Blomqvist. At least Tom is still going. He'd follow up his championship success with a second overall in the Formula 3 Championship in 2014, losing out to Esteban Ocon but ahead of Max Verstappen. Now that's a claim to fame. He had a few tough years in DTM with BMW, taking one win. Formula E has also been harsh, especially with Neo in 2021, but he did finish second in class at Le Mans with Jota and is currently leading that class in the WEC. 2011, Alex Lynn. Our final champion and a good driver, Lynn beat Oliver Rowland to the final championship. He had a couple of years in Formula 3 before winning the 2014 GP3 championship with Carlin. This led to GP2 with Dams, taking 5 wins and finishing 6th overall in both 2015 and 2016. He also tested Formula 1 with Lotus and Williams. He bounced around various endurance series whilst also racing in Formula E, first with Virgin and Jaguar, before having his best successes in 2020 and 2021 with Mahindra, taking his first win in London. So that is a list of all the champions of the Formula Renault 2.0 UK Championship. It's a strange mix of champions, from 7-time Formula 1 champion Lewis Hamilton to British touring car backmarkers to absolute nobodies. But they all have one thing in common. They are all champions in this series, and they probably don't talk about it much. But make sure you talk about this video. Let's get to 500 before Halloween rolls around. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment down below, like the video. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.